Right, here's a question from the forums from Research Cooperative. They want to know how to, they've figured out some code to get a button onto the page and want to know how to style the button. And so I've reproduced that button here using the site builder and some template code. There's a few ways to do it, but this way suits the purpose. And so the question is how to change the size of the lettering here. And the answer is CSS. So if we bring up Firebug here in the Firefox browser, we can fiddle with the CSS as directly on the page without saving it to the site or anything. You can just play around with stuff. So we can see we've got the input value here, and it's just it highlights what the code on the page. So in order to adjust CSS, the thing that you need on there is a class. So we'll add a class our button, for lack of a better term. It's best to describe your button. So CSS, the whole principle of it is cascading. So if you design one button and then you like the way it looks, then you can use the same class on a different button and it'll look the same, and then you change that and all of them will change. So you give your classes descriptive names about what they are. So we've got our class equals our button on that button now, and we'll add a rule. There we go. A dot signifies a class, so in the CSS terms, dot our button is the one we're interested in, and Firebug gives us lots of hints as we go. So we'll go font hyphen, and then you can just scroll down and choose what it is you want to adjust there. But the thing that we're after is, I'm just pushing the up and down keys. Font size, tab, we'll go 10 px. Pixels is the size of fonts, of pixels is the size on the screen. So if we push up again, it's going up and bigger. There we go. Oh, it's getting too big there. Right, so that's what we're adjusting there. We're adjusting the font size, and because it's getting bigger, it's pushing out the outsides of things. So we can also add other things on there as well. It looks a bit weird like that, so we'll put a bit of padding around it. 5 pixels. Yep, okay. And it's a margin of 10 pixels. px. There we go. We can just adjust that like that. If we go back up there, this padding 5 pixels means 5 pixels all the way around, but there's another notation that you can go 10 px. Can't find the P button today. 10 px, 5 px. Now this one will adjust the outsides, and this one will adjust the top and bottom. Or you can go even more fine-grained control than that. Go 5 px, 5 px, and now you've got control over the left, control over the bottom, control over the right, control over the top, and you can adjust it to exactly what you're looking for. There's lots of other things you can do with CSS. Border radius, there it is there, 5 px. Now I've got rounded corners. I want them more rounded. No, that's not good. And you can adjust them like that. Border color red. Border. Normally you use a shortcode for border. I'll do that here. Border instead of border cutter. Same thing like the padding. Border 1 px. Solid red. 2, 3, 4, 5. Bigger border, smaller border. Red. Don't like red. Maybe a green border. Right. Okay. There we go. That looks horrible because my design sense is not great. But we've got our class there. So now we've got our class here, our button. It's got all of these attributes there. And what we want to do there is copy that. And we'd paste that into our CSS file for the skins. You'll find the skin files at on your server. Probably best to clone the skin before you do this, but you'll find the skin files at /, I'll write it up here so you can read it, /skin/ your skin /CSS, and then there's a whole bunch of files in there, maybe site or custom or layout, one of those ones. So you'd paste it into there and then FTP that up to your server. So that's more. You can't access it through the ACP, so it's a bit more detailed thing, but it gives you a whole lot more control. Actually, if you really wanted to, you could. We'll do it a hacky way. This isn't the best way to do it, but it is one way to do it. This is really horrible, bad coding practices, but it will work. Control copy, input. There we go. So there are the changes. View the changes. There we go. Now it's saved there. And even if we refresh the page, it's still there. So there you go. Better to put that in the skin so you keep them all together. Otherwise, you'll be traipsing all around the place trying to figure out where the stars are for everything.